All right, so let's go ahead and simplify these two rational expressions. The denominators are not the same, so we need to first find the least common denominator so that we can make these two the same, right? So what are we going to do? Well, we'll take 16x to the 3 and we'll get its prime factorization. And so let's go ahead and do that. We'll get 2 times 2 times 2, that's 8 times 2 times x times x times x. We'll do the same thing for 24. X squared. We'll turn it into his prime factorization times 3 times x. And then we're going to say, okay, well, what are the same, right? So we got 3 2's up there, we got 3 2's down here, we got 2 x's up there, we got 2 x's down here. So what is this prime factorization down here missing from the prime factorization of 16x to the 3, right? It's missing a 2 and a factor of x, right? So I need to multiply this 24x squared by 2 times x. Now, what is the prime factorization of 16x to the 3 missing from the prime factorization of 24x squared? It's going to be the 3. Right? So I need to multiply 16x to the 3 times 3. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Now we're going to go ahead and rewrite our fractions, except I'm going to multiply my first fraction by 3 over 3. I'm going to multiply my second fraction by 2x over 2x. So I get 5x plus 9 over 16x to the 3 times 3 over 3 plus 7 over 24x squared times 2x over 2x. And so what is that going to equal? Let's see. We'll get 3 parentheses 5x plus 9 parentheses over 48x to the 3 plus 14x over 48x to the 3. Right? Look at that. We have two denominators that are the same now, right? Since the denominators are the same, we could just go ahead and add those numerators together. So we'll get 3 times 5x plus 9 plus 14x over 48x to the 3. All right, so we added them together. Great. Now let's go ahead and distribute out here. We'll see if we can simplify any further. All right, so let's go ahead and say it's going to equal 15x plus 27 plus 14x over 48x to the 3. I'm going to combine my like terms here. So I'll get 29x plus 27 over 48x to the 3. And I'm looking at all the coefficients, and I don't see any common factors, right? Especially because 29 is prime. So let's see if I did my math right. We got 14x, we got 15x, that's going to be 29, yep. So this is my final answer. I cannot simplify any further. So I'm coming over to here, and I'm writing 29x plus 27 over 48x to the power of 3. All right, let's do one more. So this one over here is a bit different, right? First, we want to find the lowest common denominator, and we're going to do it the same way, just different, right? So first, we'll put our first denominator, which is going to be x plus 5. And what are his factors? Well, he only has one factor because of that plus sign, right? So this x plus 5 is our factor. And then we have x minus 2, our second denominator. And what's his factor? Well, because of that minus sign, it's x minus 2. So what is missing from the first factor? What is missing on the first factor from the second factor? Well, we're missing an x minus 2. What's missing in the second prime factorization from the first prime factorization? And that is our x plus 5. So what do we need to do? We need to multiply our first denominator by x minus 2. We need to multiply our second denominator by x plus 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's rewrite this fraction as x minus 5 over x plus 5. But now we need to multiply by what's missing, right? The x minus 2. But we can't just multiply by x minus 2. We need to multiply by x minus 2 over x minus 2, or 1. Right. And then we'll say minus x plus 2 over x minus 2. And here we're going to multiply by what's missing, the factor that's missing. That's x plus 5. But we can't just multiply by x plus 5. We need to multiply by x plus 5 over x plus 5. All right. So now let's go ahead and multiply this out. We'll get x minus 5, parentheses x minus 2, over x plus 5 times x minus 2, minus the second factor is going to be x plus 2 times x plus 5 over x minus 2 times x plus 5. Right. All right, so now we subtract. So it looks like we're going to have to multiply or FOIL out that numerator there before we can subtract these two, right? So why don't we go, I'm going to do it over here so we have extra room. It's going to become x squared, because these two multiply by each other, x squared, then negative 2x, negative 5x, so that's going to be negative 7x, and then negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10. Okay, and then over here I'm going to have a minus, I'm sorry, let's go ahead and keep it as a fraction. So we'll say x plus 5 times x minus 2, okay, minus, and here I'm going to multiply out this numerator, so it's x times x is x squared, and then we have 5x plus 2x is 7x, and then we have 2 times 5 is 10, over x plus 5 times x minus 2, like so. Alright, so now we can subtract, right? So let's go ahead and do that. The denominator is going to stay the same, right? Now we have the same denominator, so it's going to be x plus 5 times x minus 2. And then in the numerator, well, we know this negative sign distributes. So it's negative 2x, negative x squared, negative 7x, negative 10. So let's rewrite everything. It's going to be x squared minus 7x plus 10 minus x squared minus 7x minus 10, because that negative sign distributes. Okay. So then now what do we get? Well, let's go ahead and combine our like terms. We have x squared minus x squared. Those cancel out. We have 7x minus 7x. Negative 7x minus 7x. That's negative 14x. We have 10 minus 10. That cancels out as well. So we just have negative 14x in the numerator. And in the denominator, we have x plus 5 times x minus 2, like so. And so that's our final answer. We can't simplify, right? We have a factor of negative 14 up here. We have a factor of x. And in the denominator, we have a factor of x plus 5 and x minus 2. No common factors. So negative 14x over x plus 5 times x minus 2, like so.